Reeva Steenkamp's mother, June, will not oppose the parole application of her daughter's murderer, Oscar Pistorius. But she's not attending the Atteridgeville Correctional Services hearing of the application today due to the matter taking its toll on her. This is the second time the parole board is meeting to decide whether Pistorius should be released on parole or not. Speaking on behalf of Steenkamp's family, Rob Mathews says June has gone through a lot, especially after the death of her husband Barry in September.
I'm not convinced that Oscar has been rehabilitated. Rehabilitation requires someone to engage honestly with the full truth of his crime and the consequences thereof. Nobody can claim to have remorse if they're not able to engage fully with the truth. If someone does not show remorse, they cannot be considered to be rehabilitated. If they are not rehabilitated, the risk of recidivism is high. I am informed that an inmate's remorse and the extent to which they are rehabilitated are taken into consideration at the time of making a parole decision. It is my earnest wish that no one should be subjected to gender-based violence. I hope that parole board panels will evaluate an inmate's rehabilitation by considering his or her engagement with the truth in determining the presence or absence of remorse. My dear Barry left this world utterly devastated by the thought that he had failed to protect his daughter, and therefore, in his role as a father, as he perceived it. The only hope he had left was that Oscar would find it in himself to eventually tell the full truth. It is my hope that the parole decision treat the safety of women as the most important consideration by exercising their power of judiciary. The pain caused by the dastardly murder of Reeva did not only include emotional trauma, it also included trauma that manifested physically, as became evident in the acceleration and deterioration of health in both Barry and myself.
SABC News reporter Hasina Gori is tracking the story and joins us live. A very good afternoon to you, Hasina. What else do we know?
Good afternoon, Nzinga. We're coming to you once again from the Kgosi Mampuru prison here in Atteridgeville in Pretoria, where behind us the Correctional Services and Parole Board are deliberating whether the former Olympian and Paralympic Oscar Pistorius will be released on parole back into public. He has been serving 13 years and 5 months of his sentence for the murder of his girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp in February of 2013. We heard this morning from the family of Reeva Steenkamp through the voice of Rob Mathews, who read out the victim impact statement from the mother of Reeva, June Steenkamp. She said that she does not believe, as you heard in that bite, that she does not believe that Oscar Pistorius has been rehabilitated. She does not believe that he admits or that he has taken any kind of admission in his part in the murder of Reeva Steenkamp, her daughter. She also said that she was not present here today because she could not face Oscar Pistorius today. Just after the loss of this year, it's been quite a traumatic year for her. She lost her husband, Barry Steenkamp, in September, just after that parole board earlier this year, where Oscar Pistorius was denied release on parole, saying that he did not serve his full sentence. But what we have come to understand that during this entire 10-year process since the death of Reeva Steenkamp and his trial, there has been much appeals by the prosecution. If you remember correctly, he was first found guilty of culpable homicide, where he was then sentenced to 6 years imprisonment. That was then appealed, and the conviction was converted and was upgraded to murder, where he was found guilty of murder of Reeva Steenkamp. He was then given a sentence of 6 years as well. The prosecution then took that on appeal as well, and in 2017, once again, we had that sentence changed to the minimum in South Africa, which is 15 years. The prosecution had argued that it was shockingly lenient. The courts took into account that Oscar had already spent 1 year and 7 months behind bars for the culpable homicide charge, and that they took that off, and that is why he's now currently serving 13 years and 5 months imprisonment for the crime. He appealed in earlier this year in March. It was denied, saying that he did not meet the minimum requirement. However, his lawyers took it to the apex court, to the constitutional court, where they then found that the parole board had not taken into account a certain specific period, which meant that he was actually eligible for a release on parole as early as 6 months ago in March this year. So this is why we're here this afternoon. Here, it's the Friday. The board is sitting behind us. The statement from the victim impact statement on behalf of Reeva Steenkamp has family has been read into the record. It was also read to us here by Rob Mathews, who is someone who has also felt the loss of a child and also been through the parole process. So he's been speaking on behalf of June Steenkamp, reading out that statement. But we also spoke with the Correctional Services earlier, explaining to us the process that will take place right now. They said that for someone to be eligible for parole, various different factors are taken into account. They include psychotherapy, they include behavioral circumstances, also whether or not remorse is shown, as well as good behavior and conduct within the prison system. It also looks at whether one can be rehabilitated and reintroduced into society, and how that process would be. From what we understand, that should Oscar Pistorius be released, he will be released to his uncle's home here in Pretoria, where he would be staying. There could be various conditions that would be put into place. Some might find themselves on full parole. Others, it could be a day parole. Depends on the conditions that the parole board puts into place. We're yet to know at this stage. We're still waiting for that outcome. We'll keep you, constantly updated as we find out. But for now, the proceedings are still ongoing at this point, and we are yet to know whether or not Oscar Pistorius will be a free man come later today, or even if it's granted parole, he will be released today or later on. Back to you in studio.